There we go. So I can put it out onto the YouTube channel, and that's just a reminder that if you've stumbled upon this on our YouTube channel, this is a video and a discussion that's for the Legends of Real Estate agents only. Um, we respect antitrust rules and laws, so if you've stumbled upon this and anything we discuss here seems contradictory or not in line with your brokerage, please check with your broker. These are guidelines and discussions for the agents of the Legends of Real Estate only. Thank you. With the change in the market and the way things are going, I kind of wanted to spend these Tuesdays really talking about things that activities and actions that we can maybe invest in or look to help give us business. So getting more engaged in our business. I think it just becomes so important to be engaged in our business when as markets shift and as things occur. And one of the things that a lot of people question, but then some do and some don't do, are client appreciation events. And the great thing about client appreciation events is they can be as big or as small as you want. You can do them with other people, so you can defer some of the costs or share some of the costs. So it really kind of depends on what it is that you're looking to do and how to do it. Have any of you online currently done any client appreciation events? You can do a thumbs up if you're not comfortable talking about it. You can just put no's, sad faces, so you don't have to say anything because you're all staying on mute. Okay, so um, so I used to do an annual Halloween party as a client appreciation event, and it was actually really fun. It was a great way to celebrate a different holiday that people weren't customarily doing things, but there are a lot of different holidays, a lot of different things that people can do when it comes to client appreciation events. They don't have to be overly expensive. Um, the one that I did started out at about 50 people, got up to about 250 people, and did it at my house. And we had, a DJ and food and beverages and stuff like that. And it became something that people looked forward to every year, which was great because it was one way that if I wasn't staying in front of someone, it was often an opportunity to get in front of someone, maybe a past customer. And that's the whole intensity of a client appreciation event, is to engage with your customers that already know you, like you, trust you in some way, shape, or form. So they don't have to be large. They can be small and they can be concentrated, but it depends on how you want to do your business and where your business model falls. Mine was an annual event, and the more I've thought about it, I probably should have done more than one event during the year, maybe two or three. But I wanted to share a video from the NAR conference from a young lady. You won't be able to see her because you see her presentation, but it's only 20 minutes. And then I'd like to break off into discussion of where we might see opportunities to have a client appreciation event. How many do you think? What have been your concerns about client appreciation events? So let me go ahead and share this video with you. Again, it's not a long video. If you have questions, you can pop them into the chat. And I'm just going to start the video, and I'd like you to hear from her on some of the things that she's done. And then they're talking about a brokerage-wide appreciation event, so it's a much larger event, but it doesn't mean that it can't be broken down into different pieces. So let's let someone else talk from it. Here we go. And this came from the NAR conference just in November.
I'm here today to talk to you about mastering client appreciation events. This is something that is very near and dear to our hearts at my brokerage. My broker ran a two-person team for a long time. They utilized client appreciation events. And then 5 years ago, make sure that client events is something that we can scale to include all of the agents that are in our office. And now we have about 100 agents, and all of them are invited to participate in our events. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. A couple housekeeping things. On your way out the door, you will run into a kiosk that's asking for your feedback. You can do it there, you could do it from your phone. To incentivize you to do that, NAR is giving out gift cards randomly for people who are submitting the feedback. And if I get done with a few minutes to spare, I'm happy to take questions. You can submit them through the Q&A in the app. I'll be able to see those afterwards. Since it's a 20-minute presentation, if we run short on time, I'm happy to step out in the hallway, answer your questions, and we can also continue the discussion downstairs at 4:15 when I host the networking roundtables on the same topic. So we'll go ahead and get started. And I wanted to let you know that you can sit back. You have no fear. Just listen. Everything I talk about today will be in a handout that is actually already on the website, but I'll have a QR code that you can scan at the end as well.
And we do have that handout.
So
for
first, hi, I'm Lydia. My name is Lydia Hedrick. First and foremost, I am a cat mom to 2 boys, 7 and 17. I am also a teammate in life with my husband, Ryan. We've been married for 13 years. I'm also a teammate on the volleyball court. I am an agent, just like many of you. Been an agent since 2016. I've been a real estate instructor since 2018. And I am also a leader, an avid volunteer. I've served in various leadership positions throughout the local, state, and national levels. So why do we do client appreciation events? In real estate, we talk all of the time about getting new leads. I'm sure you all get the same phone calls and text messages that I do. Would you like to buy leads? Now for me, if I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna spend it on the people who already know, like, and trust me, because you all probably have the same. So if I'm gonna spend money, I want to invest it into my PCSOI. What that's
Just to stop for a second, I just want to make sure. Can everyone see the slides that she's going through in the video that's playing? Okay. You can pop a yes in or take yourself off mute for a second. Just say yes or no.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure that we hadn't gotten too far before
Yes.
what we were talking about wasn't there. All right.
for is my past clients and my sphere of influence. Those people that already know me, hopefully they enjoyed working with me throughout the transaction, give me really good referrals. And excuse, there were the nerves. We'll move past it quickly. Thank you. So, all right. So with our past clients and our sphere of influence, we want to stay top of mind. These are some numbers from NAR's 2023 Profile of Home Buyers and Sellers report. And that says that 90% of buyers and sellers use an agent. 89% of those buyers and 73% of those sellers said they would use their agent again. However, only 26% of sellers did use their agent again. Why is that? The biggest reason is that they couldn't remember their agent's name. We're not doing good at follow-up, right? So how do we correct this problem? How do we make sure that we stay top of mind with our clients? You could call them up and say, hi, Mr. Seller, do you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? And if that's what you're doing, you're not doing anything wrong. That's just not my choice. They say that you need 20 touches per year. I know plenty of people go through their database a couple times per year, make that phone call like what was on the last slide. But for me, to get those 20 touches per year, and I like simple math. So 2 client events, each event has 4 touches or points of contact. That brings us to 8. You send out a monthly email newsletter, that gets you to 12. We added up nicely to 20. Now, that's just if you're doing 2 events per year with 4 points of contact. This, which it will be in the handout, you can take a picture of it, but you'll be able to see it better on the PDF. This is something we share with our agents. If you're following this checklist, you're going to have at least 6 points of contact, and we usually do more than 2 events per year. So just from our client appreciation events, we get those 20 points of contact. Now, to give you some examples of what those 4 touches would look like, the first one for me is a save the date, and typically that's going to be a postcard. This is what I sent out last year for our trunk or treat event, just letting them know the date, it'll be in the evening, the city it'll be in, and that more details will follow. So the second is the call to invite. So what this phone call might look like is, hi, I wanted to make sure you saw the invitation to whatever upcoming event. Everything is provided at no cost as a way to say thank you for the continued trust, support, and referrals. Should I mark you as attending? And obviously you can go into a deeper conversation, tell them more about the event. But we are very specific when we are calling our clients to invite them to a free event. That's to thank them. Thank you for the continued trust, support, and referrals. We're being very specific. We're also telling them subliminally that we want your referrals. Yes. So our third point of contact for the event is a text to invite. You've given them the phone call, let them know what the event is. They said, oh yeah, that sounds great. Let me know all the details. Then I'll send them a text of a graphic that I made in Canva. Like we have this for our upcoming event that is less than a month away now, actually a month to the day. And then the fourth point of contact is going to be a post-event follow-up. You're either going to say, thank you so much for attending. So sorry we missed you. And again, work into the conversation, that phrase. Thank you for the continued trust, support, and referrals. And for us, because we do so many events, typically when we call them to thank them or say, sorry we missed you, we're also going to invite them to the next event. But if you're doing 1 or 2 per year, that might not be the case for you. So you might be thinking, okay, Lydia, that sounds great, but I have no time to plan. So for my office, like I said, we have 100 agents. So we have a planning committee of about 10 to 12 agents. So it's not on everybody. It's not on the broker alone to plan these events. And you might say, this sounds great, but I have no money. Maybe you're a little bit newer in the business. You're just going to find an event that is going to be lower budget, or we all have vendors. We have lenders, we have insurance people, we have home inspectors that we use in our business. We send them referrals. We ask them for sponsorship dollars to help pay for our events. And that could be your budget. And you might think, okay, well, all this sounds great. I spent all this time planning. We've spent this money. What if no one shows up? Obviously, we don't want to plan an event where absolutely no one is there. But things are going to conflict. Somebody's going to get sick. Something's going to happen. You're not going to have all of your people show up. And that is okay, because the key to these events is that phone call, having a conversation that leads to an invitation. And when you call them to invite them to a client event that is at no cost to them, to thank them and their family for supporting you and your business, because it's you, their realtor calling, it's naturally going to lead to real estate. But that's not the purpose of your call. So the conversation is the key to all of these events. So why do we do these events? Well, you can create raving fans. Sometimes I have people that I meet through playing volleyball that I invite to the events that I hope will be future clients. But these are some examples. No, it's not a video, it's just a screenshot of a video. But my broker had a friend who he's been inviting to many of the events. When he came to our fireworks show this year, he said, oh, your events are so great. He brought his own drone, recorded all kinds of stuff, made a minute-long video, tagged us on social media. In the family photo, we have Susan. She was the client of one of our agents. Our agent did what she was supposed to and invited her past clients, including Susan and her family, to our events. Susan loved the event so much that when she decided to get back into the workforce, Susan said, I want to be a realtor and with that company because I love their events. Everything they do is so cool. So now Susan's one of our agents. You also get shout outs on social media, which is always nice after our events. I have one client in particular that's very good about so I do appreciate that. Ultimately, though, we do these client appreciation events to get more business. And I have the asterisk up there because I want to give the disclaimer. Any kind of plan you come up with for lead generating, you decide you want to farm a neighborhood, you send out postcards one time, you're probably not going to close a deal off of that. You need to be consistent. You need to do it multiple times. So if you do one client event and think, I didn't get any business directly resulting from this, keep doing it. So the house that's pictured here is one that I sold in 2020. I had a client. I text him to invite him to our trunk or treat event last year. He said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't make it, but I think I need to sell my house. Can we meet afterwards?" So we met up after the event. 2 weeks later, the house is on the market. We got it sold before Christmas. So we do this so that we get those referrals, repeat clients, their friends as well. Hopefully, by this point, I've convinced you that maybe you want to start doing this. So a few tips that I have for planning the events, and all this information again is in the handout and a little bit extra. So my top 3 planning tips. 1 is to create an events committee. You do not need to do it all yourself. Like I said, we have a brokerage of 100 agents. We have an events committee. And you might be thinking, well, I'm on a small team or I'm by myself. How do I get help? Well, those sponsors that you ask for money, ask them to help you plan it. They should want to be there, right? To support you. Set those event dates early. Not only is this going to be helpful for your agents who are participating in the events, but for those sponsors that are going to be contributing monetarily and hopefully will show up in person. Some companies say we can't give sponsorship money unless we have people there at the event. So the earlier you can get them the dates, the better. Right now, for my office, we are distributing our 2025 sponsorship packet that shows what our 4 events are, the dates, and the amount that we're going to ask for each of our sponsors, the different levels. And then lean on sponsors to volunteer. Here in a second, I'm going to show you pictures from some of our past events, and you'll see that we have a lot of different stations that in the past we've had our agents working those. Well, if I'm sitting behind a grill cooking up hot dogs for our fireworks show, it's going to be hard for me to interact with my clients. So now we've moved to asking our vendors, hey, you're going to be there, right? Would you be able to lend us a couple hours while you're at the event? And so that also gives them a reason to have a little bit more interaction with some of the people that come by, and it frees up the agents to utilize the events even further than just that invitation. So this might be what you've been waiting for. I'm going to share some event ideas. Got plenty of pictures from past events that we've done. So this is one that I actually did last month. It was a pumpkin patch event. There were me and 4 other agents from my office. We got together because we have a lot of new construction in my area. One of our local builders said that we could use their model home. So we had a venue for it. So they became a sponsor, put some pumpkins out there, decorate the inside of the model home, had a photographer there. If you can see the hot dog and banana, those are some of our sponsors. They showed up, made sure to talk to some people, and they're always fun. I do like to make sure that our sponsors are recognized. So I had those handouts there during the event and also posted them on social media afterwards. And then you can see my clients' kids being very cute in some fall photos. Another event, this is the one we have coming up next month, is Pictures with Santa. So obviously we have the big man. This year, Mrs. Claus will be visiting with him, and we'll have a photographer. We have face painting, letters to Santa. A couple in our office, husband and wife, that are agents, they have a charity they run. So we collect toys to benefit their charity. And this is a nice little come and go event with cookies and cocoa. And we're adding a movie this year, so we're going to have popcorn as well. This is a smaller one we did earlier this year. We had about 12 agents participating. So all 100 agents in our office had the opportunity to, but they had to let me know that they wanted to participate in this. We did a school supply giveaway. So I looked up some of the elementary schools, their school supply list, said, all right, these are the things I'm seeing the most, laid them out on tables. We had one sponsor give us bags. So they picked up a bag, filled it up with all the school supplies they would need. We're able to take it with them. So if you can't tell, I'm a planner. So I'm the keeper of the spreadsheets in the office. I have a list of all the school supplies we wanted, the quantities, how much it was going to cost, where I was going to get them from. And again, we have sponsor representation so they can see their names. We ended up with a little extra money. So we did a gift card drawing. We told the people that are coming, hey, scan this QR code, tell us your favorite teacher that's local. And we were able to give teachers, 3 different teachers, $100 each. And we had some supplies left over at the end of the event. And so several of us had clients that weren't able to make it. We packed up bags with school supplies, dropped them off afterwards. So again, that's just extending the life of the event past the one day. Now, this is our big one, our fireworks show. We have done this for 5 years now. This year we had 3,500 people show up. Yeah. And because I've mentioned it, got a picture of the hot dogs. That was thanks to the drone guy. But in the middle, the bottom, is the broker. He's the one who's responsible for it all. He gets Christmas in June, putting together the entire fireworks show that this year went on for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Not everyone stayed the whole time. But to show a little bit of what this one's is like, I have our save the date. We let people know ahead of time, this is the layout for the event. Because we had 15 acres, people had to park in one area and then walk just a little ways to the event. And I have a little handout that I sent to all of our clients when I sent them their wristbands that they needed for entry of, hey, bring this, don't bring this. This is all the stuff that's provided. And if you notice in the middle there, it has one little phrase. Thank you for the continued trust, support, and referrals. To keep our sponsors a little organized, we have a flyer that lists the sponsorship tiers and what's included in each of those levels. You can see my spreadsheet down in the corner that keeps track of all of those sponsors, if we've sent them their wristbands, making sure we have their contact information, a mailing address, so we can send a thank you note afterwards. And then if they were willing to work a station, all on there. We have our graphic that we made for our agents to easily share on social media after the event, so we could recognize our sponsors even more. And then this year we had a setup night, Friday night, and then Saturday was our actual event. So I made sure that people knew when and where they were supposed to be and what they needed to bring on each day. Keeping track of our expenses, keeping track of our volunteers. And I've got the picture there where you can see the tent and the yard sign. We encourage all of our agents to go set up a pop-up tent and mark it so their clients know to come to them. And then our crazy broker and all of his fireworks are on there too. and my to-do list and final checklist, all kinds of spreadsheets. And this is what the actual event looks like. So that picture where you can see of the crowd is one of the first few years. We had a double that space this year. So we were able to spread out. The picture in the middle, I think, is maybe from last year. But it's always a very big event. Now, last thing I want to share with you is some big hits, some things that our agents and our clients really enjoy. So the first one is the Donut Man. This is a local food truck. You get a paper boat filled with mini donuts fresh out of the fryer. You get to pick your toppings. We regularly have agents calling their clients to invite them to the event. Client says, is the Donut Man going to be there? When we tell them yes, they say, all right, put me down. Send me the wristbands. I'm coming to the fireworks show. And it was really hard to find a picture without the, oh, I've been pointing over here like there's a screen here. So the guy in the American flag shirt, it was really hard to find a picture of the Donut Man without him in the picture. Last year, 2 days before our Pictures with Santa event, we decided let's do a cakewalk. Because if you're my age or older, when you were in school, if you went to church, at all the carnivals, there was always a cakewalk. And it was something that for the little kids, it was easy to tell them, hey, when the music starts, walk in a circle, except one little kid walked in a circle. And it was so cute. But that was a very big hit. We're definitely bringing it back. Glow necklaces. Since we have some events that go after dark, like the fireworks show, we hand out glow necklaces to the kids. Not only is that exciting for them, but we make sure that if somebody's running towards the fireworks, we can grab the kid. Hopefully an adult knows to stay away from them. We have insurance, so that's fine. And then the last big hit is a carved pumpkin contest. So we tell people ahead of time, bring your carved pumpkin to the event. The best and the worst will get a prize. Now this year we decided to cut out trunk or treat, but we liked this idea so much. We said, all right, how can we incorporate it into another event? So when we do our Pictures with Santa event next month, we're telling people to bring a gingerbread house that's already decorated, and we'll have a prize for the best and the worst. So that is what I have for you. If you want to scan the QR code, you'll get a handout. It's not going to be the slides, but it's all the same information that's in the slides. And for time, it looks like we're right at the end. So I will be, thank you, Gary. I will be here hanging out in the hallway for the next about 10 minutes, and then I will be.
Okay. So I wanted to share that because, even though we're in the middle of first quarter, there's still an opportunity to do something, to do one or two events before the end of the year. And she had talked about 20 touches per year. I kind of go more towards the 28 touches a year, like twice a month and once a quarter. Excuse me. But that's in that 20 to 28. You can see that by planning an event, if you're effective at not only planning the event, but getting the development of the event together, that creates those touch points. I'm going to go ahead and share the handout that she gave. Hopefully you'll see it in the chat. It should be there now. That shows that 60-day and 30-day planning element. That shows some of the key opportunities or some fun things to do. So if we could maybe come off of mute and have a little discussion about client events. Have you done any? Would you consider doing one again? What about doing one with someone else in the office or someone across offices? What about doing one where we have like the trunk or treat where it's in the parking lot of one of the offices? What are your thoughts? Talk to me about what are your concerns? If you've done one in the past, what was the success? What was the challenge? And remember, like the fireworks thing, that's a whole company thing. We can try and do one or two of those, but we need to get buy-in from a group of people. You can do stuff on a smaller level for those people, your current customers, past customers, and potentials. That is a smaller group, that top 50, and it brings the cost way down. So what are some thoughts, please? Did I take myself off mute? What are some questions then about client events? Diane took herself off mute. Yay.
Hey, sorry, I joined late. I tried to
You're
get on
fine.
earlier and I didn't see anyone on, so I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. So
No, you're
sorry about
good. You're good.
that. I've done first time home buyers events.
Good.
Those are more like classes. I've joined other events as a booth. I find that is really easy, and I did get a couple of clients doing that.
Okay, so we're kind of talking about the client appreciation event for your current and past customers. You're talking about another way to generate business, both which are great. You get connected with an organization that you may have an interest in or a connection with. And if they have an event, you participate in that event. I think that's a great idea. More exposure, just like what she was talking about at the company firework event. Each agent had a pop-up that they would then allow people to come to them, either their past customers or someone who's joining the fireworks event for the first or second time. I think that's a fantastic way to find a new avenue to generate business. I think we get stuck into traditional ways of generating business. And I think in some ways, after 2 rough years and a year and a half of craziness, that we've forgotten about some of the tried and true ways, like a client appreciation event, and you can use either of our offices, and one or both of our offices have equipment. For example, if you wanted to have a client appreciation event at one of the offices, we've got high tops, we've got tablecloths, we've got plates, we've got silverware, we've got it could be a way to maybe try and get people in so that you can get in front of. Remember, kind of like an open house, a client appreciation event is an ideal way to get a lot of people together, or you be in one place and people come to you so that you're not always running out and about. William, you took yourself off mute. Did you have a comment you wanted to make? Okay. So from my side of the table, my big question is, how do I help you plan for something for this year, maybe 2 events for this year that you can get your past customers in front of you. It's an opportunity to reconnect, opportunity to say thank you. Oh, okay, no problem, William. If you want to type something into the chat box, that's fine. If you have a question or a comment you want to add, thank you for letting me know. William's mic is not working. Little events. Oh, did everybody get the handout? Can you see it in chat? Did anyone find it in chat? Yes. Okay. Thanks, Diane. Okay. You'll notice there are a couple of ideas. Christy Radney used to do an event, depending on when it was, depending on what it was. She did pumpkins one year, where she passed out pumpkins to her top 50, and it was great because, I mean, unfortunately, it was probably not the best way to do it because she drove around and handed out the pumpkins, which meant every time she made a turn, the pumpkins went in the back of her car. But it was a great way to get face to face with people. And then she attached to it a flyer that said, take a picture of your completed pumpkin and they'll have a judging contest for the best and the worst. She gave a gift card for the best and a gift card for the worst. So she had the investment of the pumpkins, which she worked out a deal with one of the local organizations that she was connected with, and they had a pumpkin patch. Then she had the cost of the 2 gift cards for best and worst, and then obviously the cost of gas running around, but it was almost like a traditional drop-off. She had also done pies one year where she ordered in bulk pies from Costco and then sent out an email. So she sent out a card to the customer, to the people on her list, the top 50, sent out a card asking them to return the card with what kind of pie they wanted. She gave them, I think, 3 choices. And then she did the ordering, and then she sent them a note about when they would be could come to pick them up, and she had 2 days, and they could make an appointment to come pick them up. So it was great because that was 3 touches, and then the 4th touch for her was that they came in and saw her and had an opportunity to talk to her, and she had an opportunity to talk to them. So she made her appointments, I think it was for 15 or 20 minutes. Some of them took 20 minutes, some of them took 5 minutes, but it was an opportunity to get back face to face. So it doesn't need to be large scale. It can be 20 people that you want to start developing a connection with, or a greater interest with. If Christy did the pies at Thanksgiving, but you can pick another day of the year, like 4th of July or summer. We have one agent that used to do an ice cream sundae event. And people would come and create their own ice cream sundaes, and then gave people a chance to stand around and talk, and then treats, and it was from one time to the next. And of course, most everyone likes ice cream unless you're lactose intolerant. But I mean, you can also take that into consideration, get vegan ice cream. We had someone else who did a food truck, and it was a food truck from, I think, 4 to 7. And they chose a food truck that was by the hour versus by the plate, and it allowed people, since they were only inviting a limited number of people, it allowed them an opportunity to not be so concerned about how much people were eating, but just an hourly rate, and that was over a 3-hour period. I think it was 4 to 7. But it gave people who maybe either were coming back from picking up kids from school an opportunity to stop. It gave people an opportunity by going till 7 who were leaving work at 5 or 6 and coming by. So the time made sense also. I think it was on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Other ideas, other thoughts? Would you consider doing a client appreciation event? Some of you have very long lists. What are questions you have about doing a client appreciation event? Would you consider doing a client appreciation event? If you would like to, I'm happy to meet with you and try and put together some of the pieces and see who else we can get to help. It doesn't have to fall on you, even if it's just a one event that you want to put together for your customer base, and you're going to work with 50 people, your top 50. Don't take it on yourself. Let one of us help you. Let one of our vendors help you that you connect with on a regular basis. If you're working with an organization where you're creating donations for that organization, let somebody at that organization help you. It doesn't have to be fully 100% your expense. It doesn't have to be fully 100% all of your energy either. Okay. It's a Tuesday. It's spring break. Everybody okay?
And it's cold too.
And it's cold too. Yasmin says it's cold. Yasmin's been cold. Someone like, I mean, Yasmin, I think you're a perfect opportunity to do a client event. You're connected in your church, you're connected in a couple of other organizations, you're multilingual. There's a great, you could even do a cultural event, which would be fabulous.
Yes, I'm thinking about that because actually I know a lot of people and it will be really nice. We need to talk about that. Maybe you can help me with that.
Sure, we can. I think that the handout that is in your chat, she's got some great ideas, but the most important thing about doing something like this is starting early with your plan. So if you say, oh, I want to do a client appreciation event next week, the chances of your customers or potential customers, past customers, being able to make it may be slim. So we need to be planning a good 6 weeks out an event, just like you would do with anything. Planning out far enough so that people can put it on their calendar, and also give you opportunities to connect with them before the event and then after the event. Remember, that's also really important. Making sure they know when the event is, what they need to bring, if anything, how it's going to function. That gives you 2 or 3 opportunities to connect with someone prior to the event, and then of course the event, and then the thank you for coming to the event, and then when we're having our next event, the acknowledgement that you're constantly in their face. I love the tagline that they put on there, or that she put on there, about thank you for your support. What is it? Thank you for your support. Thank you for your continued trust, support, and referrals. So subliminally, that puts it, the fact it puts you, hopefully puts you top of mind, your referrals. And it is true. It's been for years that they've done the home buyer and seller survey. Consistently, buyers and sellers say the same thing. I would use the realtor again. I had a really great experience. I don't remember who they are. So you're going to give me back what, over an hour of my time today? What's going on? Any ideas you have on customer events you want to throw out to the 6 of us here to see if there's ideas that how we can help you make it happen, or things that we think might help the event, or can I challenge each one of you then to put on your calendar for one event the remainder of this year? Can I? I am challenging you to put one event on your calendar for the remainder of this year. Pick a holiday that you connect with. It doesn't have to be a major holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas or 4th of July. There are things that happen every single, I mean, look at Hallmark. There's things that happen every single day of the year. William was asking, can the company buy a 27-foot boat to take customers past and present? I like this idea. It would be a great tax write-off. I agree. I can renew my captain's license. Well, I think that's I think it's a fantastic idea. I really like the idea. Let's see. I wonder. 23 and 24 were a little tough. Let's see if we can make 25 a better year and possibly make that happen, or borrow someone's boat. We'll challenge you to get your captain's license back, and then maybe we'll do that. I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, we can rent boats. One time I did rent the water taxi. I rented the water taxi that goes back and forth downtown, and I took a group of people on a riverfront property tour. Wasn't hugely expensive for the boat. It was just a pontoon boat. I had beverages and food on the boat. We had 20 people, and there were 20 people that I targeted for potential waterfront purchases. And we left from, like, the pontoon boat came from downtown, met us at one of our friends' docks, and people met there. We had a cocktail before, got on the boat, and then went down St. John's, Ortega, crossed over Ortega into Cedar so that people could see a variety of different price points on homes. Came back around Ortega Forest, and then back through across, kind of in towards downtown, like San Marco, across over downtown. Took about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, I guess. But it was a great opportunity. Had a couple people who were on there who were kind of on the edge of where they wanted to be, and it helped push them to, one who was looking in San Marco pushed over to Avondale.
How do you target that possible customers? Because that has to be the potential customers to do that, no? So
Yeah.
it's not everybody can go there, because not everybody has the money or the interest in buying that kind of properties. How do you target?
Right. So it was based on my customer base. I
Oh,
went to
okay.
my customer base on people who either had expressed interest in waterfront, who I had talked to about waterfront, and then invited a couple of people that I hadn't quite connected with, that I knew were around, that I had heard might be interested in waterfront. So it was just a select group. It was only 20 people. So just a select group of people. Now, the other thing you say, can't afford. We're very fortunate. We have very affordable waterfront in different parts of town. So while I focused on the historic areas where I was really marketing, you can always translate that into something, into an area where waterfront is a little less expensive, or
Yeah.
potentially beachfront, do a beachfront condo tour, if you have a group of people looking at it. And it doesn't have to be
I
Oops,
cannot hear
thank you.
anyone.
Hey, what, Bonnie?
Oh, I couldn't hear anything. Everything went dead. Okay.
Yeah, it knocked me off and brought me back on, and
Oh, okay.
so now I'm not on mute.
We'll
So the-
continue to endure you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So before I let you go, is there anything anybody else wants to talk about a client appreciation event, or anything else? Since it's a Tuesday, is there anything we want to make sure comes to the front? Any confusion you're having on processes for the offers? Any confusion you're having on offers you're receiving? And Diane is working a very challenging one with title, but she seems to have that under control. And Diane, is that one coming?
It's
moving.
looking pretty good now. Now it's my client that has more legal issues. So it's like it goes tit for
Very.
tat. So timing is gonna be hard on this one, but we're getting it there.
It bounced me off again. All right. Well, I guess that's my sign of I've taken up enough of your time. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. If anybody has any questions, any questions from anybody, any topic you want to throw out there. Any concerns?
I have a question for everybody. If I don't know if maybe they know about a plumbing company. I have a potential customer who wants to sell the house, but
Okay,
um,
you're Yasmin, you're blanking out a little bit. Can you please repeat the question?
now can you hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. That I would like to know if somebody can refer me a plumbing company because I have a potential customer who wants to sell his house, but he needs to do some improvements in plumbing. And he asked me for a company, plumbing company, but really I don't know anybody. So I'm trying to find one. I don't know if you have a vendor list that can you share with me.
Okay, so you're what kind of a company, please?
Plumber, the plumbing company.
All right, you're blanked out again. Can
Plumbing.
you put that into the
She's saying plumbing, plumbers.
Yes.
oh, a plumbing company,
Yes.
Does anybody have someone that they're working with at a plumbing company? I don't know why I was having trouble understanding that. William says he would be careful recommending a company if something goes wrong. They will come back to you. I think that's a good point. However, that is part of what our customers look for from us.
Right.
Always recommend more than one and
Yes.
tell them to get 3 estimates.
Right. I'm with 3. Mhm. Okay.
Recommend a few. That's always good. There's nothing. So just so we are aware, there's nothing that requires us to recommend 3. That's always been a suggestion.
Oh,
There's not a you are somewhat protected. You can make recommendations even in the contract. It indicates that recommendations are made solely as a recommendation that the buyer or seller should do their due diligence. So I think William's point is well taken. We have to be careful, but make sure that if it's somebody that you're comfortable with, that you kind of vetted them or checked them out. I wouldn't give random recommendations. But does someone have a plumber that they're using? I know that we've used Grace Plumbing. We've used so other one begins with A. Egerton Plumbing. Anybody else have a plumber they want to recommend or throw out? Put it into chat for Yasmin.
Thank you.
You can also put something on the agent only page, Yasmin, to see if somebody
Okay.
has a
Yes, I
recommendation
will.
there.
I will. Thank you.
I also search under our page to see what people have recommended in the past.
I'm sorry, Bonnie.
It's Diane.
Oh, Diane. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not. Okay, go
I
ahead.
usually search for past posts on plumbers and pull people from there.
Oh, okay, I will do that too. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
where is the agent only page?
It's on Facebook.
Okay, thank you.
Teresa should have invited you. Have you been invited?
I don't think so. I will check with her. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw you on there. Oh, your name is on there, Bonnie, but you may want to check to see if you've accepted the invite.
Okay, all right.
If you have trouble finding it, let me know and we'll help you get there.
Thank you.
All right, well, if anybody has anything else they want to add or want to chat later about some client appreciation events, please take the time to start considering. I'm challenging you again to have one before the end of the year. This doesn't include things like pop buys. I know some of you do pop buys where you take your top 50, break them up into groups of 5 or 10, and each week go out and visit 5 or 10 and do a drop off of something. It might be a little gifty type thing. It might be something you bake. Pop buys are great ways to get your face in front of it. Remember, no matter how much electronics we do, we're still a face-to-face, nose-to-nose, toes-to-toes business. All right. If there's nothing else for me, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Thank you,
And
Clark.